Frequency clear. Keep this frequency clear.
CJAM. Redefining radio in Windsor, Detroit. We are 99.1 FM.
Keep this frequency clear.
Coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
It's Friday, and that means it's time for MediaPlex Friday Live.
On CJAM 99.1, redefining radio in Windsor, Detroit. I'm Riley Livingston.
And I'm Zachary Balog.
And you're in for a half hour of news, views, commentary, and maybe a few laughs.
But first, the news.
In our top story, this week it was announced Ontario is investing $100 million to add 2,000 nurses to the long-term care sector by increasing access to nursing programs at publicly assisted colleges. That would include the Bachelor of Science in Nursing program jointly offered at St. Clair College and the University of Windsor.
In this ever-changing world of technology, Caleb Coulter is here to tell us what's new.
Windsor is one of the many cities across Canada receiving funding from the COVID-19 resilience stream. This fund, with over $3 billion available, will assist municipalities in updating and improving existing city and community buildings. Improvements to existing buildings could be as drastic as new central air systems, or as minor as retrofitting doors to have touchless sensors. Windsor City Hall, the Adventure Bay Aquatic Center, and even the Windsor City Transport Terminal will all be receiving improvements. Miranda Karen, a student at St. Clair College, says touchless upgrades can be a big deal for some people.
I use the public transit system in Windsor all the time. I have a skin condition, so when doors are automatic and I have to use hand sanitizer, I tend to have an allergic reaction. So I think making the change to automatic doors in all municipal buildings is a very good step for people like me.
The Windsor Transit Terminal is one of the many municipal buildings that will be benefiting from the COVID-19 Resilience Stream Fund. Upgrades will include touchless doors, washrooms, and many other features.
The process of improving several city buildings has already begun. More changes are set to begin soon. From MediaPlex News, I'm Caleb Coulter.
The prices at the pump don't seem to be going down anytime soon. Sydney Vascor has the story.
Has filling up your gas tank become more and more expensive lately? Gas prices in Windsor, Ontario have hit an all-time high.
I'm here on site at a local gas station where the price of gas is $1.47 per liter. Compared to last year's price on this day, it has increased by 70 cents per liter. The recent increase in the price of oil has made the price at the pump spike to an all-time high. Mateague says it is time for a dramatic reflection by consumers.
The current energy crisis is causing a major impact on all of our lives. It will continue to do so if we do not make a dramatic change soon.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Sydney Vascor.
After being closed for nearly 18 months, the Chrysler Theatre is back and ready for action. The manager of the Chrysler Theatre, Veronica Mancini, said the theater got a much-needed improvement while it was closed. A new HVAC system, LED lights, and new chairs in the orchestra level and audience gallery have all been added. Don't miss out on their new show lineup, which can be found on the Chrysler Theatre website.
Let's turn it over to Maha Hussein, who is standing by with our weekend forecast. Maha?
You probably used an umbrella this morning, and yes, it's because it's raining. Today, Friday, there will be a high of 13 and rain of around 20 to 30 millimeters. Tomorrow, Saturday, it'll be cloudy with a 70% chance of showers and a high of 13. On Sunday, there will be a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 15. That's it for weather, and be sure to stay cozy indoors with a hot cup of tea or coffee and keep warm.
You're listening to MediaPlex Friday Live
on CJAM 99.1 FM, redefining radio in Windsor, Detroit.
On today's show, we check in with Crime Stoppers.
We head to the bookstore.
We follow our dreams.
Join us as we check out a scare house.
And if that isn't scary enough, then Zach is here with some weird news.
Woo!
First up today, let's check in with our friends at Crime Stoppers and Constable Sarah Werstein.
Nooraldine Robbie is wanted for the 2018 kidnapping and homicide of 16-year-old Chance Gauthier. Investigators believe that Robbie fled the country shortly after the homicide. As in any case, Crime Stoppers offers individuals the ability to report information anonymously. Your identity will be fully protected and you will not have to attend court. If you know the whereabouts of Robbie, call us at 519-258-TIPS, or you can submit a tip online at catchcrooks.com. By using the Crime Stoppers program and remaining anonymous, a tipster will still be eligible for the BOLO reward of up to $50,000 if the information leads to the arrest of Robbie. I'm Police Coordinator Sarah Werstein.
Here is Maha Hussein to fill us all in on what today's special day is. Maha?
Today, October 29th, is National Internet Day. It goes without saying that the internet has come a long way since its initial introduction to society decades ago. First, it was email, then it was instant messaging, and now the internet is accessible via the beloved rectangular device commonly referred to as a smartphone. The internet sure has its perks, from increased connectivity, being a virtual equalizer, a great tool for research and community organization. It also has its downsides of being a time waster and a source of never-ending distractions. Celebrate today by changing your passwords to maintain your online safety, share your favorite memes and jokes, or better yet, just unplug for the day for the sake of your mental health. We are on it every day, so a break would do us all some good. Happy National Internet Day.
So Maha, I'm pretty sure the internet does not lie.
No, it does not.
So if you do want to unplug, then here's a revolutionary idea. Try print. If you think print is dead, then think again. Here's Ravi Wajimane with more.
A book is a book is a book. Despite the rise of e-books and audiobooks, the physical book is still alive and kicking in Windsor. Thanks to pulp-loving Windsorites, the family-owned second-hand bookstore in Ottawa Street, Juniper Books, celebrated its 15th anniversary this year. Owner Roger Werdeman says the COVID-19 lockdowns inspired a whole new demographic to frequent his store. Now the majority of his clientele are so-called digital natives, Windsorites between the ages of 20 and 30.
Now it's mostly people under 40 who come in here. I'm fairly confident the actual book will continue to thrive. The feel of a book, the smell of a book, the context it gives you, the immediacy of it, the durability of it. It's a perfect product to me.
According to BookNet Canada, print books saw a 40% drop in sales in 2020 when retail stores closed down in March. However, the number recovered starting May. In the period between May and July, physical book sales grew by 15% compared to the same period in the previous year. For MediaPlex News, I'm Ravishan Vijaymanna.
Not only is there a farmer's market on Polisher Street, but there is also a flea market. Alexa Frazier explains.
Flea markets are back in downtown Windsor. The Downtown Windsor BIA put on a flea market Sunday, October 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Polisher Street between Wyandotte and Park Streets. The flea market differs from the Saturday morning farmers market because it has more vintage vendors and local artists. Ali Mosuri is a local artist who draws using pens and graphites. She set up for her first flea market this morning.
I think it's different because last weekend I was at the art fair, and this weekend it's more, there's so much different things being sold in all the booths, and it's nice to see what everyone's kind of, all the local businesses and what everyone's selling today.
Savon Riley is a local artist and designer for her clothing brand. This is not her first flea market.
Honestly, it's been really cool. I feel like more people want like a reason to leave their house now, and because of the pandemic, I feel like people want to support smaller businesses too. So honestly, because of that, I've only benefited.
For information on how to become a vendor, go to downtownwindsor.ca and search flea market. There you can find a link and follow the page to the vendor application. For MediaPlex News, I'm Alexa Fraser.
Everybody has opinions, even me. Some are popular, some not so much. So Maha, what first world problem can we solve today? Donna's also here to help us decide. Maha?
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
No, it does not.
Absolutely it does.
Yes,
No, it does
yes,
not.
it does.
No,
Yes.
sour fruit does not belong on pizza. No.
You're basically eating SpongeBob's house, so he's basically homeless now.
I disagree. I think it tastes really good together, especially with ham or bacon on it.
It's
really
a multi-purpose fruit. You can put it on pizza. You can use it in like pina coladas.
Gordon Ramsay said pineapple does not belong on pizza, hence we cannot question his authority. And 2, if you really want to satisfy your sweet tooth, go for whipped cream or pudding, but not pizza.
I wouldn't call Gordon Ramsay an authority, but okay.
I don't know. I mean, he says pineapple does not belong on pizza. Pineapple does not belong on pizza, right?
That's correct. It does not.
Well, what do you guys like on your pizza?
I don't know. I prefer like mushrooms, pepperoni. You know, the stuff that's actually supposed to go on it.
I don't even like pepperoni on pizza.
I mean, like this. Okay, in the next election, this is what we should be asking our politicians. Forget community and schools. Do you like pineapple on pizza? If you, depending on your answer, you'll have my vote. Doesn't matter. But I mean, like, it just, I can't stomach
Same.
that
I can't get
fact.
on board.
Hot dogs. I love hot dogs cut up on pizza.
What? Really?
It's good.
That sounds
crazy.
appetizing.
I've never heard of that.
I'm not big on hot dogs, but they're great cut up on pizza.
Cut up on pizza.
Chicken on pizza is also nice.
Chicken
Oh,
is good
I've
on
had a
pizza.
chicken barbecue pizza, like with barbecue sauce instead of pizza sauce. It's really good with the cheese and everything.
Really? I had a classmate in high school who used to put salad dressing on pizza.
Really?
That's good.
Once upon a time.
I dip mine in ranch.
I mean, for the crust,
Italian.
sure.
Yes, okay. And I guess we could say we have been unable to solve this first world problem. Tune in next week for another edition of Unpopular Opinions.
Weather has a history, and weather has a story, and our own Zachary Balog is here to tell us one.
Hello, my name is Zach, and welcome to This Week on Weather History. This is the podcast where I talk about the historic weather events to ever occur on this earth, and the ones you just want to forget. Now, let's get started. The date was November 9th, 1975. A severe storm was just entering the Great Lakes that would cause high winds and massive waves of 12 to 16 feet high. At 7 p.m., a gale warning was issued, and by the morning of November 10th, storm warnings were issued, according to shipwreckmuseum.com. Enter the Edmund Fitzgerald. The Edmund Fitzgerald was a lake freighter that measured 730 feet, and it was on its way to Detroit and Cleveland from Duluth, Minnesota. As the storm was taking shape, the Edmund Fitzgerald and the Arthur M. Anderson decided to take a more northerly route on Lake Superior in order to avoid the storm. However, the storm caught up and ushered in high waves and severe winds. The Fitzgerald met its fate, and following a bout of massive waves, the Fitzgerald suddenly disappeared. The once massive lake freighter now lies in the depths of Lake Superior, along with its crew of 29 that were on board that fateful night. This event also inspired a song, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, by musician Gordon Lightfoot. The song peaked at #1 in Canada and #2 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. Thanks for listening to this edition on This Week on Weather History. I'm Zach, signing off.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy.
Leave your slogans and picket signs. Underground, there is no left or right, only depths and shallows. Here's Ravi Wajamane.
Welcome to the second episode of Underground Radio, the cultural show about politics. I am Ravishan Vijaymanna. Today, we are talking about front-loading sentences with disclaimers. What do I mean? Listen to this sentence and see if you could catch it. Health concerns aside, the lockdowns were economically and socially harmful. Didn't quite catch that? How about this? Moral concerns aside, Trump's efforts to stay in office have been rejected by the courts and Congress. Did you hear it yet? Example number 1 made its case by putting health concerns aside. Example number 2 by putting moral concerns aside. Wait a minute. Health and morality seem like important enough concerns. Why would these writers discount them with merely a clause? Not even a single complete sentence to address what those concerns would be? Example number 1 was from an article in the Ledger Independent arguing against lockdowns. Example number 2 was from Slate.com against Donald Trump disputing his defeat in the election. Now that you are aware of each writer's bias, it becomes clear why they wished someone put those concerns aside. It makes their job easier. It is the logical equivalent of saying, Your argument aside, my argument wins. The purpose of these pieces of writing was to debate both sides of an issue. Instead, what these writers did was to miniaturize the opposing argument into a clause. By front-loading the sentence with a disclaimer, the writer gives the impression that the opposing idea was considered and dismissed even before the writing began. This is a deflection tactic. This is intellectual dishonesty. Now try this sentence. Cost concerns aside, many individuals tend to be myopic when it comes to their estate. That was from the Globe and Mail. The article is about why you should spend early and spend more on your own funeral. You heard that. The writer told us not to worry about our money and spend our money. The next time you see a writer front-loading a sentence with disclaimers, question whether those concerns should be put aside so easily. Thank you for listening to Underground Radio. I am Ravishan Vijaymanna.
It is said that there is a plan or purpose for everybody. So how do we find out what that is? Swati Sharma says we should follow our dreams.
Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast. I'm your host Swati Sharma. I welcome you to share your secret space with me today. Today, we take our journey to lower world, to meet our guides. In that space, we are going to become the phoenix bird, a mythical bird who rises above the fire through its own ashes. When you say, is there a past life? Is there any future life? What you are asking is, beyond this body, is there something more? After my death or before my birth? The problem with our mind is every moment it is changing its direction. It is like you want to go somewhere and every 2 steps you take, if you'll keep changing your direction, the question of you reaching the destination is very far away, unless it happens randomly. Today we will organize our minds. Recognize the things we need to let go in order to move forward. Every time we try to leave our past and our sorrows behind, we end up thinking about how helpless we were when we were stuck there and not able to move on. Until you know how important it is to move forward, to find your inner self, to find your self-worth, and to remember who you really are. Look at the opportunities that you can get when you leave what is not meant for you. It can be anything, whether it's your career or your life partner or anything. Look at the bright side of life. Take a deep breath. You're not the only one who is suffering. It's a part of life. What I would like you to do is use your imagination. While you recognize those parts of yourself that reflect our darker sides, we all learn from, I want you to take a look into mirror and see how that part of you, the part of you that you may have resisted letting go of or has held on to you for so long from being who you truly are, walk through the fire and have come out the other side. Now, when you see yourself at the other side, transform and become that phoenix bird that rises above the fire, you will be happy with your decision, and now you will be able to see the opportunities that are waiting for you. This is a rebirth. Now, only you know how difficult your journey was. Your suffering, your pain, your decisions, your life. Today, you are few steps away from your dream. Stop listening and start doing. Au revoir, adios, namaste, goodbye. Until next episode with your host Swati Sharma.
There is no time like the present to get smart, and with Halloween upon us, Donna Tuckwell is here to help us do just that. Donna?
Thanks, Zach. It's never been totally proven where the trick-or-treat phrase originated, but it was well established in popular culture in 1951 when trick-or-treating was depicted in the Peanuts comic strip, and again in 52 when Disney produced a cartoon called Trick or Treat. I did a search on Google, but I found articles that had varied numbers and origins. I was going to call a couple of elderly folks that I know, but how do you politely ask someone if they're older than Halloween? So we're just going to leave it at it's been around for a very long time. One thing I did find interesting was in one of the articles it said villagers disguised themselves in costumes made of animal skins and prepared banquet tables filled with food to placate unwelcome spirits. The costumes and treats are different, but the premise is the same. Here's a few safety tips I found from the Canadian Safety Council. Children that are trick-or-treating should always be accompanied by an adult. They should wear reflective clothing, not all dark colors. Only trick-or-treat in well-known areas and well-lit areas. All their candy should be inspected by an adult. They need to watch for vehicles when crossing the streets. No costumes that are big, baggy, or very long that could make them trip. Children should always carry flashlights, and they should never trick-or-treat alone. See, knowing this and that helps us all get a little bit smarter. I'm Donna Tuckwell. Stay safe and have a happy Halloween.
The Skinny is the 411 on the latest, from entertainment to hard news. Here's Alyssa Horobin.
You're listening to The Skinny with Alyssa. I'm your host, Alyssa Horobin. Do you have a lot of passion? Are you unhappy at the job you have now? Have you ever wanted to be your own boss? If you answered yes to any of these questions, it might be time for you to take the leap and follow your dreams. Executive Director of Small Business Center Windsor Essex, Sabrina DeMarco, offers some professional advice on starting your own small business.
You should establish your business on a solid foundation. You need to have a vision, set goals, and know where you want to take your business.
Kyle Bondi, one of the owners of Anchor Coffee House, is living his dream right now, and it happened a lot sooner than he ever thought it would. Bondi says you have to be kind of crazy to start your own small business, but that it's worth everything you put into it.
There's a North American mentality, very generally speaking, that is like live for the weekend, and I don't think that Mondays need to be the end of the world. I don't agree with that. I think as cheesy as it sounds, I don't just say this, like, if you're doing what you love, you shouldn't dread going to work ever.
In the famous words of Malcolm Forbes, when you cease to dream, you cease to live. This has been The Skinny on starting your own small business. Until next time, I'm your host, Alyssa Horobin.
This weekend is Halloween, and some say it's the Night of the Living Dead. Gracie Lodes brings you this story.
Get your best zombie costumes and your bravery because the annual Zombie Walk and Scare House are back in town. The goal is to help raise awareness about the downtown mission and the Windsor Youth Center, as well as collect donations. Anyone of any age can attend the fun-filled walk. Michael Reeve is one of the organizers. He and his character, zombie pirate Captain Highgrinder, said that the walk has become a tradition for the city and its residents.
This all started with Jacob Witalik. He brought the zombie walk to Windsor. And then things went off to the wayside, and I, Captain Highgrinder, decided to take it up for a good cause for the downtown mission. Just because we have no brains doesn't mean we have no hearts, you see.
The walk starts outside the Scare House and goes through part of Jackson Park. Although the zombie walk is over now, anyone looking to test their bravery can also try out the Windsor Scare House. It's a fun and easy way to embrace the Halloween spirit, and most customers agree that it's worth the money and the scare.
Tickets for the Scare House are on sale on their website from now until October 31st. For MediaPlex News, I'm Gracie Lowe's.
Halloween is Sunday, but every day is Halloween for Tristan Zuderveen. Here she is with another episode of Impulse.
Welcome to Impulse, the show with no description because the topics are whatever comes to mind. I'm Tristan Zuderveen. Originating in Russia, where it is popular with kids and teenagers, Sweet Tooth involves literally summoning a gnome that will eat your chocolate. This ritual is very low risk, but you have to be careful to obey all the rules. If you don't, the gnome could bite you or escape from the mirror into our world. If the gnome does escape, they say it will hide in your house and bite your toes while you sleep. You need at least 2 people to play this game. The more people you have, the better. The game must be played in complete darkness. It should only be done at night, after midnight, and before dawn. During the ritual, you have to be very quiet. Do not laugh or speak louder than a whisper. To perform this ritual, all you would need is a bar of chocolate, a mirror, some thread, and a pair of scissors. As usual, I'm not getting into every step of the ceremony because trying one of these games is ill-advised. The basics of the ritual is to leave the mirror face up under the light in the ceiling and suspend the chocolate over it by the thread. Everyone sits in a circle around the mirror, and each person in the room must play the game. If someone doesn't want to play, they have to leave the room until the game is over. From there, lights are turned off, the thread is cut, a chant is recited to summon the gnome, and the participants wait in the dark. In the silent darkness, a rustling noise should be heard, the sound of the gnome unwrapping the chocolate bar. When this happens, the participants must wait until it stops and slowly count to 10 before one person turns the lights back on to see what remains of the sugary treat. While borderline harmless, Sweet Tooth still opens a bridge between this world and the next. And some bridges don't always close. Tune in next week for a new nightmare in the 15th hour.
Zachary. Your weird news is always the last item on the show, and so obviously we're saving the best for last. Or maybe weirdest for last. That's our story, and we're sticking to it.
It's Friday, which means it is time to take a look at the weirdest news found on the internet. It's time for Weird News. The Huffington Post reports that a man from Turkey named Beyhan Mutlu went out for a night of drinking with a friend. He then walked away and got lost. His wife organized a search party to find him. Mutlu came across the party and decided to join them. It was after he heard his name being called, he realized they were looking for him. Wonder if he yelled, "Present!" Alrighty, from Turkey to the place that never disappoints, it's time for...
Florida man, does whatever a Florida man can. Look out, here comes the Florida man.
A Florida anti-masker attempted to defy Disney's COVID rules, comparing himself to one of its most popular films. Videos captured the scene, which shows a maskless man denouncing the park's COVID-19 safety measures in front of security. He compared himself to the ant who led an uprising against grasshoppers in A Bug's Life. Well, at least security got to him before Mickey did. And I have a weird news update. We reported here that the search was on for a missing duck on the 401 near Tilbury. Well, I'm happy to report that Teddy Ginsburg has been found and is resting comfortably at home. Well, that's the weirdness for this week. Pun alert. What was Forrest Gump's email password? 1Forrest1. I'm Zachary Ballog. You cannot make this stuff up.
Thank you, Zach, and thank you for tuning in.
You have been listening to MediaPlex Friday Live
On CJAM 99.1, redefining radio in Windsor, Detroit.
On today's show, we have had contributions from
Caleb Coulter,
Sydney Vascor,
Ma Hussein,
Ravi Wejamane,
Alexa Fraser,
Swati Sharma,
Donna Tuckwell,
Alyssa Horobin,
Albert Sharp,
Gracie Lowe's,
and Tristan Zuderveen. I'm Riley Livingston, and he's Zach Ballog. Woo! See you next week, CJammers.
That was